I asked ChatGPT, given all you know about human psychology and mental health and all the information you
Mhm.
have access to, what one piece of advice would you give someone who's looking to improve their life? And it basically said, be actively present in everything you do in life. Whatever it is you're doing, pay extreme attention to the way you pick something up, the way you feel. And I thought that was so interesting because I do wonder if part of the reason people are becoming increasingly depressed nowadays is because our attention is divided and fractionated in so many different ways, and
Mhm.
we're sort of losing our ability to pay attention to something. And why do you think being presently engaged in what it is that we're doing in that exact moment is important?
The high level answer would be because life is lived in the now, and I know it sounds so
No,
generic,
that's
like
good.
it's so true. And there's so many benefits to being present. There's something called the mindfulness gap. You may have heard it before. I know you've spoken to a few people in quite a few people in a similar space. You know, being able to be present with
Bigger.
your emotion, being able to be present with whatever's going on in the moment, and not be emotionally reactive. And sort of going back to what you said before about sort of, you know, the increase in depression and things like that. I think a massive part of it comes down to this. It's disconnection, and it's disconnection from who we are as humans. I think
Yeah,
this is a human thing. I don't think it's just a male thing, but I think unfortunately males or men are more disconnected than you know, the majority of men are more disconnected than the majority of women, but there's still a lot of women that are disconnected as well. I think
yeah,
humanity as a whole is very disconnected from what's important, disconnected from the soul, disconnected from who they are because of all this conditioning. And being present is one of those things, or learning how to be present is one of those things that allows us to start reconnecting, and it's allows us to start being more intentional with how we show up, and we can start being more intentional with the things that we say. And you know, when those strong emotions do come up, it's a case of, okay, well, why do I feel the way that I feel right now? What's going on internally for me? Rather than reaching for the phone because you feel anxious, so you're just going to scroll, or going out drinking, or relying on, you know, substances, or whatever the unhealthy coping mechanism is. I think, you know, learning how to be present helps with those sort of things, because if you combine that with the ability to regulate yourself properly and to understand why you are the way that you are, that's why inner child stuff is really important. But it's in those moments of being present where you can act with intention, and you're not just being run on unconscious patterns and being reactive and being controlled by the, you know, the unconscious parts of you, I guess.
yes. Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. I think that could be one of the key aspects. If you are actively present and directional with your behavior, you are taking control back away from these unconscious aspects of yourselves,
Yeah.
which will take you off in different directions, and
Mm.
you're like training that muscle and multiple muscles actually, because you're diminishing the parts of you that are you're diminishing the part of you that wants to go to the phone, and you're diminishing the part of you that wants to reach to X or reach to Y, and you're
Yeah.
growing the part of you that has control over what you're doing.